Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. And today's video is going to be a Back from the Gulag best class setup, and I like to call this one the Back from the Gulag V2 because, as you guys know, I did do a Back from the Gulag setup a long time ago, but since then the meta of Warzone has changed. Some guns have been buffed, some guns have been nerfed, and overall the way people play Warzone is a lot different. And because of that, I went out of my way to go and find the new best Back from the Gulag best class setup. So that's what you're seeing on the screen right now, which is the M4 and the MP5. I'm going to show you those attachments right now. So first of all, the M4, we're running the monolithic suppressor, the stock M16 Grenadier, the underbarrel being the commando foregrip, the 60 round ammunition mag, and then finally, as you guys know, the perk fully loaded, because this wouldn't be a Back from the Gulag setup without the perk fully loaded, because if you guys didn't know, this gives you reserve ammo and allows you to come back from the Gulag and not have to worry about picking up ammo, because you guys may have faced that situation where you come back, you land on your loadout, you pick up your gun, and you got a squad on you, and it's all very well, you have your gun, you pick up your M4, but you've only got 60 bullets in the magazine, or however many bullets are in the magazine of that gun, but then you have no reserve ammo, and that's where the fully loaded perk helps out. So yeah, next up, secondary weapon, MP5, and on this, monolithic suppressor, F-tac collapsible, the Merc foregrip, the 45 round mags, and again the fully loaded perk, so you can have the reserve ammo for this gun and be able to compete with people as they challenge you when you pick up the loadout, and allow you to get through that part of the game where unfortunately you might have had a bad drop, you might have picked up a bad weapon and you end up in the Gulag. You come back out and this will allow you to have the ammo in your magazines and still be able to compete in Warzone with people who've got their class ups and loadouts ready to go. Perks are EOD, overkill and amped. Finally, C4 is my lethal, and tactical being stun grenade. And that's all you need to make this Back from the Gulag best class setup V2. And what you're going to be seeing today is a 35 kill plunder game that allows me to showcase to you guys how good this setup is, how this setup works very well in Warzone, how this is an aggressive setup, and I'll explain in today's video. As you're watching the gameplay, the 35 kill plunder game, I'll be explaining how this setup works and what makes these attachments so good for the M4 and the MP5, and how you go about using this setup in Warzone in its current stage and in the current meta of Warzone. So yeah, let's get right into today's gameplay. Right, hello guys, and welcome to the gameplay part of today's video, which is a Back from the Gulag version 2 best class setup for Warzone. And the reason I'm making this video is because the last time I did my Back from the Gulag setup for Warzone was a long time ago, and since then the meta of Warzone has changed. Some guns have been buffed, some guns have been nerfed, the way people play Warzone is a lot different. There's a lot of things that have changed since making that video, and that's why I went out of my way to go and find the new best class setup from coming back from the Gulag, aka the best Gulag version 2 class setup, whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's a setup designed for when you come back from the Gulag. And why is this a setup that it's designed for when you come back from the Gulag? Basically, both weapons that I have on this class, because I am running overkill, so as you guys saw from the intro, you've seen the guns I'm using. I'm going to explain why I have them set up the way I have them set up. But basically, you'll notice both guns do incorporate the perk fully loaded, and the reason for that is, when you come back from the Gulag, you guys will know, you don't have reserve ammo. You come back with your pistol and that's it. You have next to no ammo. You don't have AR ammo. I do believe you have SMG ammo because of the pistol, but it's not a lot. And the problem with this is, when you do come back and say you land back in and you pick up your loadout, because it's like the first circle, a lot of times you might get a bad drop and you might pick up a bad gun and someone kills you off the start. There's a lot of reasons why you might end up in the Gulag, and when you come back, you want to be able to fight properly. And yes, you can come back, land on the loadout and pick up your GRAW, your M4, whatever it may be. But the problem you guys have realised, or might have faced a few times, is you might kill a few people, but you run out of ammo. And unless you're able to quickly go get the ammo from those people, you're going to die again, because you're just going to have no bullets to shoot back. So this is where this setup is designed to not make that a problem. It's designed to still be competitive, still be able to play Warzone, still be able to shoot back, not essentially weaken your gun, and be able to just play the game without having to worry about your ammo for the first few minutes after you come back. After that, you can think about buying another loadout, or even using this setup through that phase where you get the first loadout and then you wait for the second loadout to pick up Ghost and pick up that extra attachment that will do a lot more for you than fully loaded. So you guys have seen my two choices for this, and I experimented with a lot of guns and I experimented with a lot of different ways of using this, but the way I see Warzone at the moment is the meta of Warzone is to be very aggressive. And that's what this class setup is all about. You know, back when I made my first sub, which was the MP7 with the sniper, that was how the meta was. It felt like you could snipe at distance and then take people on like up close, medium range. But things have changed since then. It seems now that not a lot of people are sniping, mainly because you get the hit markers here and there, and being able to finish someone off, even if you snipe them down in say duos, trios and quads, is quite difficult. In solos, it's a lot different. Obviously in solos, if you hit a good snipe, that person's done for, unless they have a self-res, but still, it doesn't make sniping that rewarding. You know, you can get someone down, but unless you're close enough to finish them off, there's next to no point sniping someone. And that's why I didn't put a sniper on this class setup. Instead, I went for the M4 and the MP5, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain now why I have them set up the way I do. So, first of all, the reason I chose the M4 is because this gun is great for the short to medium range. This whole class setup is not designed for long range. This is designed to be super aggressive. This is for the people who push in constant squads, like with your duo, with your trio, or with your quad team. You push aggressive. That's basically how Warzone is. You push super aggressive against people. Now, I ignore this change, but basically, it went from 50 mag. I did change from the 50 mag to the 60 mags, and the best class setup does involve using the 60 mags. The reason for that I'll explain in a second, but I did change to the 60 mags, and I would definitely recommend using the 60 mag. But start off with the M4. So the M4 I chose is because, one, to do this class setup, you have to incorporate the fully loaded perk. So already you lose out on attachment, and there are some guns that I tried this with. But the problem is, you need so many specific attachments on certain guns, such as the Kilo. The Kilo is very meta at the moment, but you do need full 5 attachments, and you can't really incorporate the perk fully loaded without losing something that you need on that gun. So the best gun I found for this was the M4. And on the M4, to start with, I had the monolithic suppressor. For obvious reasons. You want to be silent. You want to be off the radar. You want to have that extra damage. There's a lot of things you want to have from the monolithic suppressor. Obviously, you have your negatives of aim walking steadiness and being a little bit slower aim down sight speed. But again, not a problem. It's Warzone. You don't need to aim down sight super fast. And plus, we have a secondary to do the aim down sight pretty fast for us. So I'll explain that in a second. Next up is the barrel. The best barrel by far is the stock M16 Grenadier. It has the best damage, it actually aims down sight, I believe, quicker than the Corvus Custom Marksman, which is quite crazy because I believe it's not supposed to, but it is what it is, that's what it does. Bullet velocity, better recoil control. What isn't there to love about that? Yes, you got aim down sight speed and movement speed cons, but having a slower movement speed is not that big of a deal in Warzone, especially as strafing quite fast in Warzone does actually throw your aim off quite a lot. So I prefer to actually have a lower walking movement speed and a lower movement speed, just so my shots can be a lot more crisp at those longer ranges. Next up, Underbarrel Commando Foregrip. It's the best attachment, I believe, for the M4 to actually decrease recoil and make the recoil more manageable. You know, it stops the side-to-side sway, which I've always said is the hardest to deal with. Like, basically, it has recoil stabilization and aiming stability. Aiming stability means this gun won't sway as much when you're aiming down sight, and then recoil stabilization is the side-to-side, like, horizontal recoil, which is basically almost impossible to control. You know, vertical recoil is very easy to control. If the gun shoots up, you just pull back down. It's as simple as that. And you can see in the gameplay, which by the way I haven't even explained yet, it's actually a 35 kill plunder game, you know, which you guys may not believe that's incredible, but when I'm playing solo against other squads and trying to be as aggressive as possible, you're going to see in this game, like, I felt incredibly cracked out, and I know it's a crazy term to go with, but I was in a different zone in this game. I was hitting some incredible shots. The free pieces I was getting in this game truly showcase how good this class up is. So yeah, enjoy that in the background, the 35 kills with these two weapons, because this is what the gameplay is for. This gameplay will showcase how good these guns are. And the reason I did it in plunder and not solo Warzone or quads or anything like that, because first of all, I don't have a squad for duos, trios or quads, and I didn't really want to go in on my own and face like duos, trios and quads, because it's a lot harder to deal with. Whereas in plunder, I have that ability to respawn, you know, be able to get you guys a gameplay. It's just done a lot easier, and plus I can showcase the gun a lot more and its different strengths. I can show you the short range, I can show you the long range, I can show you how this class setup specifically works in its element. But yeah, so the Commander Foregrip is the best attachment for recoil, and you can see in the gameplay, the recoil is basically non-existent. It's not that hard to control. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Next up, ammunition. Now you guys saw I changed from the 50 mag to the 60 mag, and the reason for that specifically is because with the 50 mag, it is faster than the 60 mag. So it is a choice. It's up to you if you guys want to use the 50 mag instead. I chose the 60 mag, and the reason I switched in-game is because with the 50 mag having a slightly better strafe speed, which, yes, this is going to sound weird, it does have a slightly faster strafe speed, but I do believe that throws my aim off. I don't know why. I like having my guns be able to not move as much, especially with the M4, as the M4 here is my medium to long range like damage dealer. And so I wanted to have less strafe speed, so I wasn't missing as much shots. And you can see in the gameplay the change when I changed from the 50 mag to the 60 mag. I was able to hit a lot more shots. I was definitely doing a lot better in those medium to longer range gunfights because of this change. So that's why I go with the 60 mags, and also 10 extra bullets is fantastic for dealing with, you know, the quads, the trios, all those. If 4 people pop up in your screen, 60 bullets in your magazine is going to help a lot when it comes to dealing with 4 people on your screen at once. And then finally, obviously, is the perk, fully loaded. This wouldn't be a Back from the Gulag version 2 class up without fully loaded. Obviously, this is so you can have the reserve ammo for when you come back in, and say you land on that loadout box and you've got 4 people around you or 2 different squads, you're going to have enough bullets to deal with people. And this M4 will help you get through that stage of coming back from the Gulag and being able to just set up and post up for the, you know, the rest of the game and deal with what you need to deal with until like the second loadout, where you can then try and get the M4 with, I don't know, a tack laser on it instead. Because basically all this M4 is basically missing a tack laser or a stipple grip tape, whatever you want to use. But this class setup here, the M4, does your medium range, can do the short range as well. So it's a bit of an all and ever does it all gun, but it is mainly for the medium and long range. And you can see in the gameplay, it does the damage. You know, the medium to long range, it absolutely fries people to bits. So yeah, that's the M4. Next up, we're moving on to the second part, which is the SMG, because I picked an SMG for this for the main reason again. So as I said before, the way Warzone is at the moment is about being very aggressive, and the M4, as great as it is for the medium to long range and is quite an aggressive weapon to use, it's not as mobile. As you guys have seen, a lot of my attachments do take down the mobility. So when you're in those really short range engagements, a lot of people are going to have the movement over you. They're going to be able to dodge your bullets quite easily. So that's why I've ran overkill. I've also got EOD and amped, in case you guys didn't know. Amped so I can switch weapons quicker, because you are going to need to switch weapons a lot, especially if you need to win those short range engagements and you need to whip out the MP5. Amped is going to help out amazingly. Overkill, obviously, so I can have the MP5, and EOD to try and, you know, deal with C4s, RPGs, etc. the best I can, because obviously RPGs can still one-shot you. So I don't make the rules on that, but unfortunately RPGs can one-shot you even with EOD, but it's best to try and negate it as best as possible. And plus, it's the only perk there that really makes sense to have in Warzone as it is. So yeah, secondary weapon, MP5. Everyone uses the MP5, and the reason I've got it set up the way I do is because this is about being mobile, it's about being silent, it's about being able to win those close range engagements. And you can see I'm strafing side to side, I'm all over the place, like my movement is everywhere. It's hard to hit me basically in those close quarters engagements, and I'm still putting out great damage up close to win those engagements. Obviously a lot of people will say that these shotguns are great, which yes, they are fantastic, but let's say you get to a sticky situation where like you accidentally have a shotgun out in a medium range engagement. It's not going to help you. It's not going to do the damage you need. Whereas the MP5 can still win you that gunfight. So that's why I went with the MP5. It can still win you those medium range gunfights whilst winning the short range. So yeah, let's get into it. The muzzle, monolithic suppressor. Now, some of you might be thinking, that's crazy. Why monolithic suppressor? Everyone uses the monolithic integral suppressor. Now, I've tried these two, and I don't know what it is, but the monolithic suppressor, first of all, I believe actually aims down sight faster than the monolithic integral suppressor. And plus, personal preference here, I believe the monolithic suppressor sight, like there is a slight difference in sight between the monolithic suppressor and the monolithic integral suppressor, and I just prefer the monolithic suppressor sight. Like it just looks more, how to put it, clean. There's something about it feels less cluttered for me. I don't know if I'm just being crazy, but personally I just go with the monolithic suppressor. It increases your damage, it keeps you off the radar, just the same as the monolithic integral suppressor, and personally I believe this attachment is better. It just, something I feel about it just makes this attachment better. So I'd personally go with the monolithic suppressor. Next up, we go all the way to the stock. Now I said that no stock has been nerfed into oblivion, which is true. It has been nerfed into oblivion, which is the FTAC collapsible, which is no stock, basically for the MP5, just named different. But with better movement speed, better aim down sight speed. And yes, you do get the aiming stability and recoil control, which does give you a lot more like aiming, like a lot worse aiming stability and a lot worse recoil control. But if you're dealing with short to medium range gunfights, that's not a problem, because we're not too bothered about the recoil. This is about being able to dodge people's bullets and being able to just be a nuisance. You know, if in those up close engagements, you're going to be incredibly hard to hit, and that's how you're supposed to use an SMG. You're supposed to be very mobile. You're supposed to put out good damage, and using the FTAC collapsible allows you to move so fast and unbelievable quick. And you can see I'm tack sprinting around corners and stuff. being able to put shots on other people, and basically cammering people because of this attachment. So definitely use it. Very powerful attachment. No reason to not use it and make the MP5 as strong as possible in the close quarters engagements. Next up, underbarrel, Merc foregrip. Perfect attachment for SMG. Helps with the recoil control, makes it a little bit more easier to use in those short to medium range, and better hipfire actually. In those situations where I need to strafe even more and say we like headbutt a door or something, you know, you run into another character, being able to hipfire and have very good hipfire accuracy, especially with MP5, is going to be amazing. Yes, you lose your aim walking speed and aim down sight speed, but we do have the F-Tac collapsible, which will help with that anyway and make you strafe incredibly quick anyway. And then next up, ammunition, 45 round mags. You need some magazine size here. You need to be able to take on multiple people at once, and having the 45 round mag allows you to do that. It allows you to take on those 2, those 3, those 4 people that pop up on your screen, and it allows you to deal with that, because it takes about, what, 5 to 8 bullets? That's plenty of bullets to put down a good 3 or 4 people in one clip. And then finally, obviously to finish the class, fully loaded, to make sure we have the reserve ammo for the SMG. Because when you pick up your loadout and say like 3 or 4 people start, you know, bombing on top of you, like running towards you, you want to make sure you have plenty of ammo in the reserve, and having fully loaded is going to allow you to have that SMG ammo in the reserve and be ready to take on those 3 to 4 people that you need to take on. And then finally for the class, obviously we've got C4 and stun. Pretty typical stuff for the Warzone. You can change the stun for heartbeat sensor if you really need to, but I personally go with the stun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the class up, the Warzone Back from the Gulag version 2 best class setup. I believe this class setup is perfect for when you come back from the Gulag. You can see in this gameplay that it is built to be aggressive. You're meant to win those short range, medium range, and even be able to deal with those long range engagements when possible. And you can see in this game, I've hit so many crazy like movements and being able to take on 1, 2, 3 people at once, and showcase the SMG being fantastic, showcasing the M4, the AR being fantastic when it needs to be. And it just shows how this class setup works for Warzone in its current meta. So yeah, enjoy the rest of this gameplay. A 35 kill, it's a pretty insane gameplay for Plunder, a 35 kill game in Plunder with this Back from the Gulag version 2 Warzone class setup. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you use this class setup, at least give it a go, because it definitely helps out for when you come back from the Gulag and allows you to, you know, deal with the mid game if you have to get some ammo really quickly. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video, enjoy the rest of the gameplay, and yeah, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye!